Alright, good evening everybody. Welcome into the first ever Tropical Chatter Vlogs. We're going to jump right in. We have two areas of interest. Over here we got potential tropical cyclone 2. This is the first ever potential tropical cyclone advisory issued. It's kind of odd, but I like the idea. Over here, 93L. This one's very likely to impact the United States with heavy rains, gusty winds. Not too much surge, but it's possible. We got the track here for potential tropical cyclone 2. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to become a tropical storm. It's probably there already, actually. 2 p.m. tomorrow, National Hurricane Center has it at a tropical storm. It's going to slam into either northern South America. It's going to affect all the Windward Islands over here. By the time it reaches Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, in this area here, the conditions are going to be hostile. It's going to die off. Some of the models, bring it up in here and kill it off, or back here and kill it off. There's a high likelihood it's going to get killed off. But as of now, it's looking pretty good. We're going to go into satellite image, and as you can see, it's got a nice spin to it. It's actually looking pretty good considering it's June 18th. Got the center somewhere in here. Got a nice feeder bending down here. Another one developing up in here. It's not a bad looking storm for this time of year, and climatologically, it's not supposed to form right here. It's pretty impressive actually. So we're gonna go back to 93L here, and let's get rid of all that. You can see the mid-level circulation that was over in this area. That has died off in recent hours, and now we're getting some more by the low-level circulation area. This is going to take off overnight. During the diurnal max, early morning, right before the sun rises, thunderstorms bloom the most. It's going to take off, and I wouldn't be surprised to have a tropical storm by tomorrow afternoon. Should head off in this general direction over here, maybe over here a little bit more, and yeah, by tomorrow afternoon we should be having a tropical storm, tropical depression at least. Let's show you what the models have to say a little bit. This is the GFS full resolution, and we're going to start this off here. We're at, right now actually, starting off. See, the GFS has potential tropical cyclone 2 strengthening up until about 998, 999, maybe 995 millibars. As it's passing north of South America, it's going to probably run into one of the Windward Islands. They can expect, 50, 60, maybe even 70 mile an hour winds. It's got a nice little envelope of good conditions to form over here and strengthen over here, I should say. So I wouldn't be surprised if it reaches moderate tropical storm strength. As you can see over here, this is 93L, which will become most likely Tropical Storm Cindy, I believe. It'll be the sea storm Cindy. So let's bring it back a little bit, start from where we're at right now. And you can, here we go. Still got an open wave. Alright, and now we go. It's starting to close off. 24 hours from now, GFS has it closed off. It'll probably close off sooner than that and become a tropical depression at least. GFS isn't too bullish with the wind speed. You could see as we approach landfall, this is 48 hours out. We're talking about, 35, 40, maybe even 45 knot winds. Probably not even 45 knot winds. You can expect gusts 50 miles an hour along the coast here from Panhandle, Florida to Texas. Now I say Texas because most of the other models are farther west. The King Euro is farther west. Most of the models are farther west than the GFS. So we can, I do expect it to come farther west. I expect it to come, more in this area likely. And that would bring, onshore winds over here. A little bit over here. And it'll be a long fetch, so you're gonna get some tidal surge build up, pretty big waves, nothing they haven't seen before. It won't be overly spectacular, it won't be overly damaging, but it will be pretty torrential rainfall. We're going to get into that in a second. So let's back it up a little bit. You can see here that the GFS, let me see if I can get this to work. There we go. GFS kind of, you know, bowling balls it in. It's going to be an ugly system. It's going to be wobbling. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be lopsided. So this is the GFS here. Let me show you the Canadian, more in line with some of the other models. So here we are 12 hours from now, closed off. And this is what I was talking about. It's going to come over more to the west of the GFS. And there we go. You can see it clearly right here. You know, it's pretty far west of the GFS. This, you know, onshore winds into Louisiana, into the Gulf Coast. Well, this is the entire Gulf Coast, but Alabama and Mississippi. Again, not overly powerful. Canadian's a little bit stronger, you know, 60, 65 mile an hour gusts maybe. Which again is nothing they can't handle. And as it sits there and spins for a little bit, it will build up some seas. Canadian brings it all the way down by Texas, and that's kind of what the Euro's been hinting at for a long time now. Euro more in this general track in here, which is probably likely considering it's the Euro. You know, you don't want to hug the Euro, but it is the best model we have. So let's clear this out, run it back a little bit. You can get another look at the Canadian, which is pretty similar to most of the other models besides the GFS. Brings it up, gets it pretty close to the coast. I mean, there's going to be some nasty weather along the coast, and then it starts pushing it west towards Texas. Now, I want you to notice down here by the Windward Islands that Canadian does not develop potential tropical cyclone 2 into much of anything. Some squally weather, and that's about it. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I believe it will get to moderate strength tropical storm before dying off past the islands. It is going to die off past the islands, but it's going to bring some nasty weather to them. Now the rainfall is going to be huge. Not huge, but pretty substantial. We're talking, 6 to 12 inches of rain somewhere along the Gulf Coast, wherever. It's going to be east of where the eye of the storm is. If there's not going to be an eye, but the center of the storm. So as you can see, the GFS has a foot plus of rain all in this area here, and that's pretty substantial. Now, like I said, the GFS is east of the rest of the models, so if you were to shift this storm west, just like all the other models say, you're going to bring this heavy rain into this area here, and it's going to be pretty good. It's going to be, long duration, heavy rainfall, flash flooding possible. The normal areas are definitely going to flood, and some of the non-normal areas are going to flood. Nothing monumental, but people in this area here, they should definitely start preparing for heavy rains. And, the normal stuff, 60 mile an hour winds, bring the stuff in outside, just batten down the hatches a little bit. It's not going to be an enjoyable couple days, but you're going to get through it. Let's go to, I want to show you a couple other things before we wrap this up. First ever Tropical Chatter vlogs. Alright, here is where's the sea surface temperature? Sea surface temperature is right here. It is June 18th. This is pretty good. Anytime you see 28 degrees or higher, you're cooking. 27 degrees and higher can sustain a hurricane. So let's see. You're talking anywhere in this area here can sustain a hurricane. That bottom line is way too high, but you get it. Anywhere in here can sustain a hurricane. It's pretty good for this time of year. Gulf is warm, Caribbean's warm. Yeah, you can see the Gulf Stream running right here, which is always warm. It's going to be an interesting year with main development region out here already producing storms. It's kind of interesting. So far, so early in the season, we're getting main development region storms. It's going to be something to look out for. One last thing, I want to show you the tropical heat potential map. Tropical cyclone heat potential map. It's let me just get rid of this. It's one of the maps I like to look at. You can tell how much energy is available in the ocean for these storms. Alright, so we're going to make a couple little dots. Our system right now is potential tropical cyclone 2. Right around this area here, you can see anytime you're in the non-blues, right here, there's plenty of it here. When you're in this area here, this is where if you get a already developed system going over that, watch out. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a massive storm. But you get down these light colors in here, there's plenty of energy available. Even where our 93L is in here, plenty of energy available. So as TD2 or whatever you want to call it, Brett, when it becomes Tropical Storm Brett, passes through the Windward Islands, there's plenty of energy available. But after that, conditions just get so bad over here where it's going to die off. That's what it looks like right now. I'm pretty confident in that. Now, when Cindy or the Sea Storm or Tropical Depression 3, whatever you would like to call it, 93L currently, gets into the Gulf, you can see some energy over here and pretty good colors. It's just overall conditions are not great for a storm right now. That's why it's going to be an ugly, lopsided, just plain ugly tropical system. It is going to produce some winds and some rain, heavy rains and some gusty winds, but that's normal for an early season storm. Rarely do you get a beautiful developed hurricane in mid-June. It just doesn't really happen. So that's where we're at right now. Let me get us back to satellite, and I'll go back to 93L, or let's update that a little bit, clear that off, and there you go. I'll leave you with an image of potential tropical cyclone 2. That's a new saying for these systems, potential. They're issuing advisories. I should have pulled that up. I will pull that up. Okay, right over here in the Windward Islands and northern South America, they do already have tropical storm watches. I don't believe they're warnings, but tropical storm watches in effect already. They're going to get tropical storm conditions. There's going to be a couple-hour period where it is sustained tropical storm conditions. So if you live in that area, batten down the hatches, prepare for some nasty weather for a day or so, and you guys are going to make it through it. But this is encouraging so early in the year, or discouraging if you don't want the hurricanes. It's going to be an active season. I'm very confident it's going to be an above-average active season, and I wouldn't be surprised if you live anywhere along the coast. Be prepared for storms this year. It's somewhere it's going to happen. Could be you. It might not be you. In all probability, it won't be you, but it could be. So prepare. You can follow me on Twitter at stormforce_1. I do have a YouTube channel that this will be posted to. Please follow me. I will be chasing storms this year when we get a landfall, whether it be in Florida, North Carolina, the Gulf Coast. If it's a landfalling hurricane, not this early season, ugly garbage storms, I will be down there. I will be streaming live. I will be posting to YouTube. I do have a Patreon page, I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, where you can donate. It's strictly used for new equipment, gas, and to get you the videos that you want to see from inside the storms. It'll be awesome. I'm going to try to make it like you've never seen before. Inside these storms, live streaming. It's pretty rare. You see it with tornadoes all the time. You see it in hurricanes also, but I want to get in the eye of a hurricane and periscope or live stream from the eye of a hurricane. I think that'll be pretty neat. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Follow me at StormForce1 on Twitter, and I will talk to you soon.